Alright everybody, welcome back to video number 2. We're going to pick right up where we left off with our last video. Again, we've got a road network laid out, we have our residential grid built out, and we have zoned our first few grids. So at this point, I am going to start my simulation by pressing the spacebar. And so now time is running, and hopefully, let's click it up a notch just to speed some things up. Again, anytime you press the space bar, you can pause it. So, we got our first residents moving in, and you can see them building their houses. What we love to see, taxpayers coming in. All right, sweet. That means someone just moved in. You see the little blue men, that means someone moved in and noticed, or I'm sorry, the house finished building. That's what it meant. The house was completed. But now we're getting some lovely warning messages. Looks like a water drop and a lightning bolt. What could that possibly mean? Oh, I know. We better pause our game, because guess what? We don't have electricity, and they don't have water. Two absolute vitals to live in my city. So we need to supply water and electricity to our residents. How do we do that, Shane? Well, let's go back to our toolbar. I bet there's a way. And there is. Look at there, electricity and water and sewage. Let's click on electricity and see what our options are. Notice that we have this cool blue area. Now this is telling me that they don't have electricity because there's nothing connecting this blue area to the outside world. But what it does tell me is that as houses or buildings get built, they kind of create an underground network of power. And that's what this blue square represents here. It's telling me that as long as I can get electricity anywhere into this blue square, it's going to power every single house that's been built so far. So that's kind of cool. I like that about the game. Many games aren't that way. But first, we have to generate some power. How can we do that? Well, we got some options here. We have, notice in our flyout, we have a wind turbine. If I click on that, this is interesting. Notice when I zoom out, we suddenly get this color depth chart showing us different shades of green or blue. I'm not sure what color that is, teal perhaps. But the darker teal represents higher wind velocity. And if you look at my windmill, as I hover above these, it tells me my estimated production in megawatts. Right here in this area it says 6, but as I move into the darker shade, it goes to 7, and then it goes to 8. So that's telling me that I'm going to have more electricity produced right here than I would right here, which is good. It's good to know. Now, you're saying, well, what is the green? What is the green circle? What is the red circle? Well, the red circle is the noise pollution that this windmill will make. And if you put the red circle over your residents, they're going to get mad. They're not going to move out. They will move in, but they're not going to be as happy as they could be, because they'll be constantly listening to the windmill run. So if we can, we try to avoid the noise pollution over our residents. Putting it over industry, not that bad, not that big of a deal. So I'm actually think I'm going to do that. Up here is going to be my industry. This is going to be my residential. I'm going to need power everywhere. So I might as well put it in a place where I won't piss as many people off. So I'm going to put that right up here. Actually, I'm going to put it close to the shoreline. I want to make sure I'm in the 8 megawatt range before I plop this thing down, because excuse me, this thing's $7,500, so it's not cheap, especially when I only got roughly just under 49,000. So I want to make sure that I'm getting the best bang for my buck here starting out. You know, later in the game, as you start getting a good budget, a good balance, not that big a deal, but early off in the game, it is critical. to try to maximize your spending. So I'm going to plop it in an 8 megawatt zone, and notice now we get a blue circle. We get a blue, go back to the power, we get a blue circle around our windmill, and that tells me that this is where electricity is currently flowing. And that's important because I also need water. But you're saying, wait a second, Shane, we got to get power from here over to here. Yes, we do, and we'll do that in a second. But first, I want to focus on water. When you click on the water icon, obviously you get more options here. You get your pipe. This allows you to move water from one source to the other. You have a water tower. These are kind of cool for areas that you develop way out, perhaps in the middle of nowhere, such as maybe a farming industry. I tend to avoid these personally because I'd much rather spend my money on a water pumping station. And notice it's even cheaper as well. The water pumping station is only $3,100. So this pulls water out of any ocean or river that you choose to find it. But notice it too has a green circle, or I'm sorry, a blue circle. That's its influence of water, and it also has a red circle, which is its noise pollution. This is not as big as the windmill in terms of noise, but it is pretty noisy. So what I want to do is, as I hover this closer to the water, watch what happens. It pops and it turns green. Now, understand that this is a water pumping station. It pumps water. What does a pump require? Electricity. So that's why I wanted to put my windmill close to the water, because now I can plop my water pump right here on the water. And now we get this lovely blinking icon, and that tells me that it's not connected to any pipes. So that's a problem. It can pump water all day long, but if it doesn't have anywhere to send it, what good is it, right? So that's why we get a warning message. Okay, how do we get pipes? Well, guess what? We have a pipe tool. And if you zoom in here, you notice that each water pumping station has what I call a node, and as I get close to it, it pops on there. That's right there. So if I pop to it and click, I can now start dragging my pipe out. And of course, as I drag the pipe, the construction costs becomes very expensive very quickly. But I'm going to zoom out here, but notice as I drag, I get this wonderful blue shaded area. That tells me that this will be covered with water once I lay the pipe down. So I want to minimize my piping for right now. I don't want to spend too much money because we're just getting started. So I want to come down here, and we're just going to cover our basic houses for right now. So guess what? We got our water feeding our residents, and now they're still showing the icon because I haven't started the simulation yet. Let's start it for a brief second. You'll see the water disappear. There it goes. See them disappearing? So water is now flowing. But now we get a new signal. Sewer. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause the game again, and just real quickly want to check my timing. I think we're going to wrap it up here shortly, but let's go back over here now. Yeah, I'm going to stop the video here. This is a good place to stop. When we come back, guys, video number 3, we're going to take care of our sewage issue, and we're finally going to wire up the neighborhood to electricity so we can finally, by the 3rd video, get some people to move in here. All right, guys, I'm Shane. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video number 3.